We're in constant communication with both sides with the objective of hopefully achieving a permanent ceasefire in the next day.
Vice President Pence predicted it yesterday in our exclusive sit-down, and today the permanent ceasefire in Syria was reached.
This was an outcome created by us, an outcome reached without spilling one drop of American blood. No injuries, nobody shot, nobody killed. We were supposed to be there for 30 days. That was almost 10 years ago. After all of the precious blood and treasure America has poured into the deserts of the Middle East, I am committed to pursuing a different course. Let someone else fight over this long, blood-stained sand.
Join me now is retired Colonel Douglas McGregor. Colonel, what do you make of today's ceasefire news? Is it really permanent? Is it going to hold?
Well, the president said there isn't much in the Middle East that's permanent, so he recognizes that this will hold for some length of time, but permanency, the only things that are permanent in life are what, death and taxes. So what are we looking at? We're looking at two groups of people right now who are really unhappy. One group consists of Washington, virtually everybody in Washington, with the exception perhaps of the Freedom Caucus.
You and I, and Tucker, and a few others.
Everybody's miserable because he shoved a red pill down everybody's throat.
Explain that.
Listen to what he said. He says, first of all, we're not going to commit forces to fight anymore unless there's a vital strategic interest at stake. What a novel idea. That's a brilliant change strategically for this country. Secondly, he said, no more global policemen. No more regime change. Well, you just robbed half the population of downtown D.C. of millions and millions of dollars of income and support and donors.
All the cranes in D.C. supported by all this. I want to play something that Leon Panetta, of course, former Secretary of Defense, said today. Watch.
This is the most disastrous foreign policy blunder I've seen a president of the United States make, and it's sending a terrible message to the world that you can't trust the United States.
Well, let's look at the Kremlin right now. They're bringing in Alka-Seltzer and Zantac by the creep. Russia's economic forecast for 2019 is down to 1% growth if they're lucky. Mr. Putin has now been stuck with the red pill of all time. He's got about 5,000 men on the ground. He's got some aircraft and a few ships. He's standing in the path of the most powerful armed forces in the Middle East and the second largest armed forces in NATO. That's not a happy place to be.
Yeah, but the most absolutely stunning thing he said is the worst foreign policy blunder he's ever seen. Think of how long Leon Panetta's been around.
Well, he certainly presided over a lot of...
Yeah, we got Benghazi, we got the failed scam of an Iran deal. Of course, in other administrations, we've had other disasters, but we had, of course, Somalia. I mean, it goes on, and the Iraq War. I mean, foreign policy blunders, are you kidding me?
Well, we're disappointing the Chinese because the Chinese were betting heavily that we would continue to spend trillions of dollars in these vast wastelands to achieve nothing. The Iranians are upset because now they think they're going to have to defend Iraq against the Turks. They've already warned the Turks not to advance any further. That means that Iran is split now in terms of its capabilities between the Persian Gulf and northern Iraq.
I had people on this air all day long were saying that this is, they've never seen a sharper betrayal of allies. No one will trust us again. I heard this on every cable channel, including this one. No one will trust us again. Really?
Everyone is scared to death of Donald Trump because Donald Trump plays chess in multiple dimensions simultaneously. He has now checkmated all of his potential opponents, his competitors. So clearly, he's a dangerous man. So I don't think we have to worry about losing respect.
Yeah, thank you, Colonel. Great to see you, as always. Stay tuned. The Dems beclowned themselves at a hearing that got less attention today.